Despite inflation cooling down a bit in July, consumer spending on groceries rose 13.1% for the month of July, marking the highest increase in 4 decades. So for more on this, I want to bring in Yahoo Finance reporter Alexandra Semenova to talk about this. Because here's the thing. So we saw the inflation report yesterday. And yeah, inflation is slowing, which is good news. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel like that to you. And people spend money on housing. They spend money on food. They spend money on gas. And even though gas has gone down, too, it's still a lot. So let's talk about food, because it is also breaking records. What are some of the factors impacting the price of groceries?
Well, first, I think that we have to talk about what helped drive that inflation figure down yesterday. So gas prices have been a big contributor to rising costs in food and other components of CPI. And we saw steady declines in gas prices for the last roughly 60 days, which is what helped bring that headline figure down last month. But important to note here that, even though it was very welcome to see the number tick down for the first time in months, core CPI, which strips out the more volatile components like food and energy, was still up annually, was still up over the month as well. That covers components like food, food at home, groceries, shelter. All of those components rose over the month. So even though Wall Street definitely cheered on that number yesterday, Americans are still feeling pain at the supermarkets, even though they got some relief at the gas pumps, and energy is volatile. We could see that figure go back up over months. So it's definitely premature to be excited about yesterday's inflation reading. It's definitely the first time that it came in below economist expectations since early 2021, when we really saw prices begin to climb. But Americans aren't feeling that relief just yet. They're going to the grocery stores and seeing their prices on food essentials at record highs. So definitely a bit premature to be talking about inflation peaking.
So in your reporting, have you seen consumers behaving differently to combat inflation?
Well, it's been interesting behavior among consumers so far, because we haven't seen a substantial pullback in spending. People are still going out and spending money. They're buying trips. They're paying money for experiences like dining. There's a lot of pent-up demand after 2 years of the pandemic, but we are seeing it hit lower income consumers who are already strapped on their budgets and finding that everyday items are more and more expensive and harder to afford. Essentials like food, gas, they're really feeling the pain of that inflation figure, for essential everyday items.
Yeah, it's not surprising. A lot of people actually saved a lot of money during the recession, but if you were, or rather not the recession, during the pandemic, and so now they're spending that money. But if you were on the edge, then it was really, really tough. And now this is a beating that you just, don't want with the inflation. So here's the question that's a little speculative. And I know, people kind of don't want to go there. But as we saw the inflation report yesterday, is it too early to say whether or not inflation has peaked?
It is definitely too early to say. Like I said, the core figure still came in higher. The headline figure was lower because of those lower gas prices. But again, that's a very volatile component of the report that could go back again next month. In order for us to say that inflation has peaked, we would have to see a meaningful trend, especially after getting figures that have come in at or near 40-year highs for the last several months. So we're still seeing, components of the report like food, shelter, just going up steadily over the month. And we will need to see more data in order to say that inflation has peaked.
I can understand that. Alexandra, thank you very much.
Thank you.